Happy Sunday! Welcome to the Global Love Revolution 2020. And today we have a special interview with Julia Thome talking about peaceful parenting. Enjoy, everyone. A little bit about yourself, your own journey, briefly. How you being. I know you're talking about before you get married, you didn't even think about having a children, but suddenly it happened. So maybe you're gonna share with us a little bit about your journey from there. And from where you are and where you are now.
Okay, thank you. Personally, I graduated from university in 2006, and I was living back then in Lebanon. And then I got a very nice, a good opportunity in Dubai. So the day I graduated, I took a flight and went to Dubai in a very well-known firm. And I was working as a graphic designer, so it was really the best opportunity that someone would dream of, like just graduating and getting the best career post. And I was really planning to go further. I always like to push my limits. I had imagined having my own business, and I always planned for the future in my head all the time, looking forward how to get better. So after that, I met my husband, and then we decided to move to Canada. So when we came to Canada, at first I applied to a regular job, because I didn't have previous experience, and I was working also as a graphic designer. Till the minute I got my child, and I gave birth. Because during my pregnancy, I knew because here, luckily in Canada, we can stay up to 9 months to 12 months at home as a maternity leave. But after that, you get back to your regular job. So when I gave birth, I said, no, I'm not going back to work. I cannot leave this child with anyone else. And then I was she's so precious and weak at the beginning. They're so dependent.
Yeah.
And more I get to learn about first at babies and later at toddlers and searching and most of the time finding how to behave with a child, what to do, how to react. I didn't want to take my own old pattern of my parents, how they raised me, or how the ancestor raised, because it goes. So I wanted to figure out what's the best I can give to this child. I want her to be really happy. That's my full purpose, and to be present in her. For me, it's really important, the 5 years, I find it's the, foundation years for a child and for a character to be built. After 5 years, we can change, but it's not as fundamental as the 5 main years. It's all in the subconscious mind. It goes there, it's stuck. So I wanted to be not the perfect, there's no one perfect, but the best version I can be for my daughter to have the foundation and strong rock.
A shift, for you to say, okay, now I think I'm going to drop my career and fully become a parent for my kids. And I know she's very precious. I want to be there. But how do you decide? I'm sure a lot of viewers out there were thinking, I have a kid, but I'm not sure what to do with it. Maybe I'll just send it to a babysitter and let them take care. But it sounded for you that you see the important relationship with your kids. There is something that you have to be there for them to build a foundation, like you said, for them.
Yeah. The thing at the time when I did it, this thing, I gave 100% for my child, but at the same time, I figured that I'm not giving for myself. I started gaining weight. Sometimes I'm depressed. I breastfeed so long, sleep deprived. So I said, that's true. I want to give my child my time, be there, play with her, teach her. But at the same time, I want to be the best example. So if I'm not taking care of my health, I'm not taking care of my sanity, what am I teaching her for real? Teaching the ABC, she's going to learn them eventually. Playing, it's important to be present, but also this can be like with something else she's going to learn later. So that aha moment came to me with the second child. But also as a character, the second child was an easier baby. Like she would play alone. She doesn't need, my first born, she was very demanding and very active. So, and I was a new mom. I didn't have the experience. So also this adds up. But the second, I knew, I was like, no, there's this gap. And I don't want to be the same mom I was with the first child. I want to really lead by example. I want to take care back of myself, of my passion, and this will eventually lead them to mirror what I've done in their own life, and that's when someone will be successful. You cannot always give without caring for your own self and fulfilling your own cup. At the end, the cup's going to be empty if you're not filling it up, just giving. So this is really what made me say, no, I have to search for what I love, what I want to be, and started figuring out how can I do a balanced life with being present in my kids' life, at the same time having something for me I'm passionate about, be able to serve the community, deliver my message, and to teach the people that also not always giving, it's very important to take. And
I think
to grow.
That is so true. I remember one of my favorite teacher that it says something about similar with that concept, which is it say one of the life principle is you have to fill your cup full until overflow in order to give. So I think that actually apply what you say. If you are not taking care of yourself, how can you have energy to be present with your kids? How can you give her be an example or something that she feels she needed from you? All right, so Julia, so you talk about you being a giver and you want to be an example for your kids. So do you have any, like, what did you do? Like, what do you have any tips that you can share with the viewer? And what did you do to actually eventually be a more present, more loving mom that you can show to your children?
Yeah, actually, two main things I would think about them right away. First one, don't take things too seriously. Like if kids are having tantrum, they're on the floor, they're just make sure to be next to them, to like them to affirm their feelings. We all have feelings. Just say, no, you're gonna be okay. Stand up, you're gonna be stronger. Yeah, these words won't have it. It won't help a child. Child really needs to get out what he is really feeling. So to be there, not to punish, because we all make mistakes. When you punish, really like just go time out. What are you teaching a child? That you did a mistake, you should be punished. Like, no, we did a mistake, we learn from this mistake. How can we solve this problem? Like as a toddler, I have 2 years old. If she, let's say, spilled some milk on the floor, instead of coming like, why did you do it, and get mad or whatever, I was like, okay, let's wait a bit out. It was an accident, we can clean it up. And she learns, and now she grabs the rag and like she cleans because
okay, great.
So
wow.
small tips, it builds confidence. She knows that she did a mistake, she can fix it. Everything can be fixed. It's not the same way, but you learn from it. That's the purpose. It's not to feel guilty and isolated. That's not teaching. That's just making the child more angry and more like the tantrum will build up and then explodes and everybody ends up shouting and whatever, like, man.
That's wow. Yeah, this is a small little step. I think it's small little step, but it's actually lead to and we talk about education, right? This is actually a very important, I would say, a little insight for children to learn. Because what you do when you talk about you being a role model, that little action that will actually lead to click on their mind and say, oh, I did a mistake. okay, but I can fix it.
Yes, that's
So
what I
that
feel
is
like.
so good. Yeah.
At the same time, also another tip, what I was saying, I have mainly two tips. The other one is the mood. Like, really, sometimes you wake up not in good mood. Some people, like, I'm a positive person by
Uh-huh.
nature. I always wake up with a smile. But my daughter is always sad and mad and frustrated. Because what we figured out at home, that we put some fun music and we just be all silly, and it changes the mood. So we're all in the, like, for us, precious moment is the morning. We all make sure we eat breakfast together, we have fun together, and then everybody goes get ready and have the day rolling. But at least we have also a good foundation in the beginning of our day, giving hugs, kisses. This also, like, when you leave the house, you leave with this empty cup, not empty, sorry, filled cup, not empty cup. Yeah.
So in other words, it's like your morning. So you do have like a ritual. Like, do you have any ritual like in the morning? Like, you're talking about you put on music, changing the mood. Is there anything else that you do in the morning with your kids to really set the tone for the day?
Yeah, this is because the thing that when I used to do the self growth, when I started doing my self growth, I noticed that you should see the pattern you have every day. And for us, the morning was the worst pattern. It was the energy drain moment of our day, because my daughter is in a bad mood, and then we all have to get ready, and we're all rushing on time and pushing, and and like a whole hassle at the house, and then everybody leaves, boom, like an explosion. So this was the main pattern. I said, no, I need enough energy. Everyone in the family needs enough energy to start the day. So that's how we figured out. I talked with my husband. We both planned it. We were aware of the situation, that it might be she didn't sleep well. Sometimes she's worried about school. She's anxious by nature. Like, these stuff that we are aware now that we can control it. And just tickling, smiling, dancing. This is the really the ritual that what we do, and we get ready. Like, the clothes, we make sure we choose them the night before, because before it was like, no, I don't want this, I don't want that. So the time clicks, and then we have to move faster, and that, like, I just figured this pattern that we had and dissected into sections how to do it better, that we all leave and start our day nice instead of just rushing and being stressed.
Wow. Okay, that's beautiful. I think, in other words, I think we need, when you have working with kids, you do have to think about a structure for them, and
Yes.
learn about their pattern, their behavior, and really create a solid structure that it's work for the whole family. I think is very key, to actually helping your kids to actually progress, and also letting them to be aware of themselves and say, oh, I actually, maybe they don't know how to express it, but they're trying to show you, hey, I'm frustrated. Can you help
Yes.
me? The kids they couldn't say it in a word, but they're doing it in action. But you, as as we talk about conscious parent, you being a conscious parent, how you do parenting, it's at that moment, right? To be more aware about, hey, my kids is behaving this way. What's going on? That's the moment you need to question it and find a solution to help them. So
Yeah.
I it's brilliant, I think. About the music and set it. I love it in the morning. Yeah, music is always kind of bring people. Even as an adult, music is always change the mood, right? No matter what,
So true.
as long as you're a human being.
Yes, exactly. And movements
And
also. And yeah.
movement. Uh, what is something that you feel like your children had helped you? In other words, they have helped
Yes.
you to do some self healing, or
Yes.
self discovery about yourself that you never know before.
Mainly, I was always also, like my daughter, an anxious person. I always plan my future. I always think, what should I do? What should I complete? That one thing I really learned so well from my kids is how they live the moment. For them, time doesn't have any meaning. It's like useless. They want to play. They want to play. They're not gonna. Okay, now it's time to go. Now it's time to do. We as grown-ups, like we have million tasks, million things. So we're always living in our head, whereas our kids are living in the exact moment. They don't have depression because of their past, which is so short, or have anxiety because of the future. And the tasks and the thing they have to do. So living the moment is the foundation thing I've learned from my kids. And what now, like every time I see there's a chaos or my day is like turning not the way I would like, or things are not happening, I just sit and feel grounded. I even now, because my older child, like she's 7 now, she turned to be anxious because I was leading by example at the time. But the second one is the one that really lives the moment. So now I'm teaching her back that how to be grounded, we do the yoga position of the tree. And we talk about the roots going down in the ground, and like we're really to feel, live the moment and to just relax, not to think always about the future or about things that's already passed. So
wow, that's a very key, right? And it's living in the moment. I think I think people who watching this will understand. One of the teacher you guys might know is Eckhart Tolle, right? It's talking about living in the moment. I think this is really related to. I always think that children is the greatest teacher for the adult because they are always in the moment. They play in the moment. They don't care about the world, right? They just be there. And as an adult, we really appreciate their action in that way.
You made me think about an example, just about the moment.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I'm sure in the US you have the Costco. So I usually go with my younger one to Costco, and I don't know why everybody there is like so mad, and all the faces are like, you see everyone's stressed there, especially going out from the cashier where they take a lot of money.
So come, go now. Oh my God.
I was with my daughter, and she's sitting in the cart, and we're waiting. I wanted to buy something for her, so I was there. We were so much like having fun, silly faces. Nobody even noticed, unless like you can see the other kids from other tables looking and staring at us and smiling, because that only the kids are really around. They can see what's going on around them, but the other like grown-ups are all so serious, so with their thinking and their head. So it was funny to see that they were enjoying my silliness.
That's great. It's I like for me, I always have a quote. It says that you have to live life like play. So you have to feel like you're enjoying every moment, so that your life will be interesting and you will see things that you've never seen before. That so is true. Right. Julia, the other thing I'm curious about, so I'm sure as a parent you deal with like the school system, and and this is a question that I feel it's very important to address. So what would the thing that you would like to see the school to change in order to like incorporate with what you teach at home? What are the things that you feel like you recommend like the school to shift?
I have a long story. I'm going to start with it because as a child, I was diagnosed with dyslexia. So all my school years were just pure nightmare, because I had to redo a grade 1, which is the basic of the basic. So at a very early age, I felt already that I'm less important, because I have like all my friends are changed because I have to redo my grade 1. So I was always feeling I'm a failure. I cannot I'm not belong to the same group because I'm less important. And then all the years of studying, it wasn't something that's easy for me until like when I was diagnosed with dyslexia. They removed all my grades because back home in Lebanon, nobody even knew. Even teachers, they didn't know what does it mean dyslexia. It was something for them like a weird word. So my mom had to do some training and teach the teachers until we get like an agreement that they remove all my grades because I'm a trilingual. So in 3 languages, they had to remove the dictation, which helped me to reach the university. But I suffered as a child. So when my daughter started doing grade 1 and she has homeworks every single day, at first, I felt so frustrated. I wasn't able to do with her the homeworks because I don't want her to feel that she's a failure or she can. And she wasn't doing well because also here, like we're in Quebec, so it's French. It's 90%, and she has 10% English. And we at home we speak more English. She's more English oriented, so French was a big thing for her. It wasn't easy, especially like we speak 3 languages actually at home, but mainly English. So I felt so frustrated. I wasn't able to help her. Like she doesn't feel like she's doing well. But then I figured, you know what? First, I never mentioned about anything that's called grades. Even she would say, "Mommy, come. This is very important. The teacher said you have to sign." I wouldn't say that it's grades. This year, she's smarter and she knows, and she goes, "Why is this B? Why is this C? Or what does this mean?" Whatever it means for the teacher, but it doesn't mean for me. I love you the way you are. You have some weaknesses. We're going to work on them. But it doesn't have to say that you are not perfect in my eyes. So that's what I'm trying to protect her. Plus, the way we do our homeworks, before I thought like, no, she has to sit down, structure, do this, do that. Like the teacher gave us the full process. But then I said, no, my child is an active child. So I got her a bouncy ball. She sits on the bouncy ball and she moves. And if she has to run, she will run. She will do it at her own pace. And if she can focus this way, she will focus this way. It doesn't have to be structured. I'll come sit next to me, do this, do that, 30 minutes now. And then like, because here they teach you, like the teacher would tell you, you should do this way, the homework. So I said, no, I'm not doing it her way. She has my child all day long. Okay, I cannot control it. But whenever she's home, I want her to feel confident. And even if we stay for an hour, that I am able to teach her one thing better than doing all that she's supposed to do and not even learning a thing because she's just finishing the homework.
So what do you think? Like, just imagine a little bit like we're creating a new type of school system. What would you like to see? It sounded like we probably need to bust out all the current system that we have, right?
Yes,
and really
totally
recreate it.
Number one in the.
So
if there's a movement, I'll be the number
you'll
one.
be the first one
against this old-fashioned, outdated program.
So what would we say, like Julia? So I know I kind of hear what you're saying is that you should really accept the child as they are, right? Don't change anything. Yeah, you just have to accept their behavior in a way, not saying bad behavior, but I'm saying like just accept who they are. What type of because I think every person have a different archetype, right? Some of them is active type, some of them is really passive. They probably love to sit down and learn. Some of them love to run around. It might be because they're not drawn to all the subject. I think now current system, they always want you to study all the subject and make you like the perfect person that everyone wanted outside the world. But
I always link it to the example when you say you cannot put all the animals to climb a tree. Like a monkey is gonna go in 1 second, but an elephant is never gonna go on a tree. Right. So you cannot. This system is really not the system.
Yeah.
What really deeply in my mind, I would love for me, what I have figured, why I was failing in this stuff. that I wasn't moving forward. Because if the school taught me about meditation, about being grounded, about being present, that would help me way more than what they taught me. If school taught me how to cook and to how to take care of myself and to see how the nutritions and the sports, not like just one or twice like sports that you don't even care about it, we all have to follow the same system, not something that, like I love to swim, we didn't have swimming in school. So like if kids, they have a choice to choose the sports they want to do, to do, have cooking classes that teach them about all the kind of fruits and vegetables and the proteins and stuff to take care of their body. Because as a grown-up, when you graduate from school or university, what do you want to do? You want to take care of your house. First, budgeting, finance, to see how to do it. Learn this in school? We don't, unless you're like, you studied business and went into finance. That's a different story. But if you never went into this, you don't know how to budget. You have to learn it your way. So no, you can teach a child of 7 years old to budget. You can teach a child of 7 years old to cook. It doesn't have to be a fancy gastronomy, French cuisine, but it can be something simple that he can eat and learn about the food and enjoy the food. Meditation. School, for me, it's learn about money more, meditation, and food. Should be like really every single day they should learn them. Not 1 hour, maybe 2 hours for the exercise. I don't know how it's going to be, but that's a dream for me at least.
No, I think you just touched a very important point, is that even like I imagine, the new school, new education in the world, it should include like live classes that you talk about, teach about nutrition, teach about finance, and then teach about different interests that kids, or maybe the basic life skill first, and then the rest of it, let them choose what they want. If the kids have a talent in music, right? Let them learn about their interest. Don't force them to learn about math or all different subjects that is not relevant. Exactly. So I feel, what you say, it just, hit the spot. And I feel that, if we can come together, I think now maybe we can just, because this is really a big dilemma, right? In the world, you have to change system. It's not an easy task, but I think for all the parents at home, the first step, like Julia, you have shared about, the first step, you kind of have to be self-loving, come from yourself first. What can you do to become a role model as a parent? Think about the things that, like Julia, you're talking about, maybe the thing that you do with the kids, like living in the moment, maybe do meditation, and all those things that you do with the kids, it kind of will bring you back to make you become a better parent, right?
Yes.
So Julia, one kind of like final thing I want to ask you is about you talking about peaceful parenting, I think, right? You're talking about like peaceful parenting. What's the difference, like peaceful parenting and conscious parenting? Are they both the same?
Personally, I can tell you, I don't know exactly the difference, but when I first started Googling, when I gave birth, like about the parenting in general, I was reached out to peaceful parenting, that the way that you listen to your kids. But also now, like things change. When I gave birth for my second child, I was searching about the same subject, like how to behave better with my child. I was reached out to Dr. Shefali, I think. She's in Mind Valley. She talks about conscious parenting and about healing your inner child.
Yeah.
That also was a big aha moment for me, because it was like, yes, I didn't love myself. I was always searching for love from the outside, from my kids, from my husband, from my friends. But no, love is something internal work. Nobody's going to love you the way you should love yourself. Nobody's going to have self-confidence except yourself. So these things I've learned, and I think I'm going to say, like, we progress every single day. It's a journey. So I think I'm going to also be mirroring this to my kids because I'm healing from the inside. So the conscious parenting is going to be accepting them the way they are and healing my inner child so we can meet in the same level because they're pure.
Thank you so much, Julia. I think this is a really great insight for all the parents out there thinking about, having a kid. How do you educate at home? How do you actually, in the moment, I know while we all coming to a movement to change the school system globally, what we can do at home is to really being a present with your kids and really bring out, first of all, be a role model. Conscious parenting means that you being a conscious parent, how to be find the peace and love within yourself, and then you overflow this loving vibration, to your kids. And I'm sure they will sense it and they will follow your leads, and eventually they will become your children will become a better parent. They will actually lead the way and maybe change the education in the world. We just never know where it goes. But I think
Yeah.
for now, as a parent, and you are in this level, you will become a greater example for all the children out there. So
Nice.
Julia, do you have anything? I know perhaps if you like, you want to connect with other parents out there, where can people find you and connect with you if they want
Yeah.
to continue this conversation?
Thank you. I actually, because my business, I didn't talk about my part of business. I
Yeah.
do love nutrition, and it's
Mm.
probably in my discussion, it was obvious about the cooking. So I do workshops for kids to cook, and even they can. I love pastry too, so they can do their own birthday cake. Instead of buying the birthday cake, we build it up all together with their own friends.
To learn more about Julia's work, feel free to connect with her on Facebook at Julia Thome Alberto. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Remember, stay connected. Bye now.